Hello, my name is Avery and I'm one of Strong Magazine's Girl Presenters. In case you're wondering why I have a special guest here today, it's because Rosie and I are going to teach you all about dog training. This is Rosie. Rosie's a golden retriever mix and she's about 2.5 years old. We've had her for about the same amount of time since she was a little puppy, and she is an absolute pleasure and we adore having her. So before you start training, there are a few different things you need to know. So the first one is you should probably think about the trick you're doing and whether it actually requires multiple tricks. For example, if you're trying to teach your dog to fetch, which Rosie can't do automatically, you want to teach your dog how to pick up the ball, bring the ball to you, and then drop the ball. And so that's pretty complicated when you think. For this video, I'm going to be talking mostly about treats because that works for most dogs and for Rosie. So when you're thinking about treats, there are a few different types of things that you need to think about. So first, you can just get the traditional store-bought treats. So these are, I think, beef and chicken, and they're dried. And those are great, especially if you don't have time to bake treats. But they can also have things that you don't really know what they are in them, which isn't great. And also, I find that Rosie gets bored of those treats very quickly. So that's not the greatest, but so far she enjoys the baked ones. Rosie loves the treats I bake for her. So they're basically just peanut butter, flour, water, and baking powder. So that's really easy to make. It only takes me about an hour, including baking time. And they end up coming out like this. So they're just small little peanut butter, peanut shaped treats. And they're great because you can break them pretty easily, and you can break them into smaller pieces if you want, and Rosie adores them. First, preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, in a small bowl, mix 1 cup of flour with 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Next, in a larger bowl, mix 1/2 cup peanut butter and 1/2 cup of hot water until smooth. Mix the dry ingredients into the peanut butter mixture. Next, add any needed ingredients, like more water if your dough is too dry, or peanut butter if the dough is too watery. Once the dough is how you want it, roll your dough out and cut it into the desired shapes. I used small bones, hearts, stars, and then I used the side of the bone to make peanut-shaped biscuits. Then you're done. Put your cookie sheet with the biscuits already on it into the oven. Next, set your timer for about 15 minutes, and at the end of that time period, check to make sure that your biscuits are slightly browned. If they are, they're done. Take them out and have fun playing with your dog. The clicker. So this is a clicker. It's pretty simple. When you click it, it makes a clicking sound. So Rosie knows that when I click it, it means treat. Click, treat. So you will have to train your dog, so literally just, you want to sit with your dog, click, treat, so that they eventually learn click means treat. This can also, you can click and then throw a treat, which can be helpful too. These are especially helpful if you're doing a trick that requires the dog to know that one exact moment is what they're supposed to be doing. For example, if you're trying to teach your dog to go in a specific thing or pick up a toy, you want them to know that the moment when they pick up the toy is when you click, and that's when they are getting a treat, even if you can't actually give them the treat at that exact time. To teach your dog to sit, you want to keep the treat directly above their nose and then bring it slowly back until they're in the seated position, and then give them a treat. You can also apply pressure to their butt if it's not working. Eventually, your dog should be able to do the trick just based on the verbal command, sit, or on a hand signal you can teach. When you're teaching your dog down, have them sit and then bring the treat from their nose all the way to the floor so that they are in the down position, say down, and give them the treat. Eventually, they'll be able to do this based on just the verbal command. You can also use the command of having your hand up in the air and they'll go down. Have your dog in the down position and literally roll them over several times a day and praise them and give them treats afterwards until eventually they can do it without you even having to touch them.
What else do we need to do? For this trick, you want to get your dog in a seated position or in a down position because this trick can be done in both, and you want to pick up their paw and shake it. Eventually, they'll be able to give you their paw just on you offering your hand.
Down. There are 4 basic steps to teaching your dog a trick. So the first one is, what do you want your dog to do? The end result. So for example, when I'm teaching Rosie to go in her crate on command, the end result is, I say crate, Rosie goes in her crate. That's the end result, and that is a pretty difficult trick to teach because it is hard to get your dog to realize what you're trying to get them to do. So that's where we come to the second step. So the second step is figuring out a command and what you want your dog, how you're going to get your dog to that end result. So the command is crate in this instance, and how I'm going to get Rosie to go in there is I'm going to throw a treat in there, so when she's in her crate she gets the treat and the reward. Then the third step is practicing that trick several times. So I'm going to, every day, I'm going to try to throw a treat in there, say crate, give her the treat. I might even give her another treat, so she hunts for the treat and then gets another treat. Double reward. Come here. And then the end result is you don't have to use the treat. Sit. Good girl. So then you want to take the treat away and continue practicing the trick.